Hey, it's Dennis. Thanks for checking in. I want to start off by telling you a little story. In my early 20s, when I first started running commercial electrical projects, small ones, I was a very hard driver, a pusher. That's kind of all I knew. My company liked me because I made them money, and I made them money by pushing. All day long with my crew, maybe 5 or 6 guys, small commercial project, hurry up, we gotta go, keep moving, we gotta get this done. And my thinking at the time was that as long as I kept my crew moving all day long, if I lost money on my project, it wouldn't be my fault. I did my part. I pushed them hard and I made them give me everything they had. And if that wasn't enough, then the estimate must be bad, right? So one day I had to stop by the shop and I had a journeyman with me. And I had to do some things there. So I asked this journeyman to go to the tool crib and get a hole hog. So I went and did my things. He went to the tool crib. A little bit later we met up. Asked him if he got the hole hog, and he said the only drill that was left in the tool crib was the dentist drill. And I didn't know what the dentist drill was, so I asked him, I said, what's the dentist drill? And he said, that old silver drill. Well, this particular contractor had a 3/4 inch chuck Milwaukee super hole shooter. It was big and it was heavy and it was all metal. There wasn't a bit of plastic on it. And it was just something he had laying around in case of an emergency, and it was always the last one left in the tool crib when, times were good and we were busy. And if someone was drilling with that thing and it happened to hit a knot or a nail or something, it'd twist their arms up. You couldn't stop it. And so I asked him, I said, well, why do you call it the dentist drill? And he said, that's what everyone calls it, because it's a bitch to work with. That kind of shocked me, because I thought I was a pretty nice guy. But I think, looking back, that it was a very fair evaluation of my foreman skills. And, it shook me up enough that I started, I think probably the next day, reading and studying. I thought, well, if I'm a bitch to work with, then I'm going to figure out how to be a better manager. And I started reading everything I could on managing people. And I learned a lot of skills. A lot of good stuff, and I tried to implement them, but there was always this one problem, and what it was is I never knew how hard I had to push my crew in order to turn a profit. And so my only resolution was to push. So even though I was learning these management skills, and they all sounded really good, I wasn't comfortable using them because I felt like if I didn't push till the end of the project, I might lose money, and then my company wouldn't like me so much. So, I went on for years, and eventually I got to work under another foreman on some larger projects. And this guy was really savvy, and he opened my eyes, and he actually gave me the solution to my problem, almost without knowing it, but just by enlightening me to some things. I put the pieces of the puzzle together, and I figured out how I could determine whether my people were moving fast enough or not, and how fast they needed to move, and I could monitor that and track it and control it. So I'm going to share that with you in the next video, how to do that, what it takes. But I'm going to close with a story just so you understand the benefits of it. You know, if people don't like you, if you push and make them angry, they'll work hard while you're standing there. But as soon as you walk off, things unravel on you. So if you're running small projects, you can probably be a pusher and make money and do well. But as your career grows and you start taking on larger projects, something that maybe is more spread out or multiple floors where you can't be standing over everybody all the time, things really start unraveling then. And what I've found is if you want people to work when you're not standing there, first off, they have to like you. And second off, you have to provide some kind of accountability even though you're not standing there. And we'll get into that in the next video. But a project that I did in somewhere in California, there was a church, school, and fellowship hall. I had a hotshot journeyman working for me there, and this is after I put all the pieces of the puzzle together and I was really starting to have some good success with managing employees. I would put together 2-week rolling schedules for all of my crew members, told them exactly what to work on, how much time they had to work on it, and then they recorded their time against it to tell me how long they actually spent doing it. But I had this hotshot journeyman, his name was Charlie. And one day I came walking around the corner of this project, I caught Charlie smoking, and it wasn't break time. And Charlie got pretty nervous. And so I told him, look, settle down. I said, Charlie, by Friday of the first week, you are always working on the next week's work. Probably into Wednesday of the next week. And you're my most productive worker here, so here's what I'm going to do for you. If you will keep blowing my schedules in the weeds like you have been, you can smoke anytime you want. Charlie liked that idea, so he took me up on my offer. And all through that project, he kept blowing through my schedules. He was always ahead of them, smoked whenever he wanted to. But eventually the project ended, and Charlie went off to a new project. So one day, that foreman came walking around the corner, caught Charlie smoking, and fired him right on the spot. Now, Charlie was the most productive worker on my crew. I knew he was because I tracked his work. I knew how much material he was installing. And this foreman fired him without even talking to him about it. As far as he was concerned, Charlie was smoking, it wasn't break time, he was screwing off, and he was gone. And, I think one thing you have to understand as a young manager of crews is that the time the employee spends on the project isn't what matters when you get down to the nitty-gritty of it. It's not the time that they're there on the site that matters. It's how much material they get installed while they're there. I've had workers on my crews who showed up every day and spent the whole day there, and I would have been better off if they'd have stayed home in bed because they install material wrong, they talk too much, they tie up other crew members. You see, so it's not a matter of being on time to work and staying there all day long. It's a matter of installing material while you're there. That's what advances your project. That's what makes you money. And that's what gets your project done on time. So we'll go into this some more on the next video. And I'll start showing you how to determine that rate of installation and how to monitor it. Okay, thanks.